if we're gonna get to know each other, we gotta learn each other's stories. And so I'll share with you my story. I actually grew up as a pastor's kid in a pastor's home, and I didn't really like church. I don't think I was like a big rebel. I just wasn't really engaged. In fact, I remember thinking, I can't wait till I'm older and I don't have to go to church anymore. And really, sports were my God. I grew up playing sports and athletics, and church was just really not on my radar. The irony is, I think that was the origin of a church planter, just kind of the desire to do things differently, to see things differently. And so I played sports all the way through high school, and then I went off to college and I played sports. I played football at Mount Union College here in Ohio. And it was really that year I kind of went rebellious. I started going, really partying and making some poor decisions. And I had this crossroads moment one night in my dorm room. I came home from a party. I wasn't in a very good frame of mind, and the power of the Holy Spirit showed up in my room. And I don't know how that sits with you. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but the best way I can describe it is I felt like I was sitting at a crossroads, and I felt like I could see where I was headed, and that God was giving me an opportunity to follow Him. And so I made the decision that day with nobody else in the room that I was going to follow Jesus. And so from that day forward, I made some steps forward, and sometimes I would take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. I definitely did not bat 1,000. But I never turned my back on God. I moved forward. And after that year, decided to leave that school and to go down to a school in Texas and finish my education there and to prepare for ministry. And so I received theological and biblical training and got my degree. And then shortly after that, I got married. And so I married my wife, Shaylin. We moved to Wooster, Ohio, and were youth pastors there for 2.5 years. And then we left Wooster and went to Toledo, Ohio for 4 years. And that's where we had our daughter, Ella. We absolutely loved the church in Toledo, the pastor. Yet toward the end of our time there, about 3.5 years in, we sensed that God was stirring us up to do something new. And we began to pray about possibly starting a new church. And we went through and took some tests and talked to some mentors. And through that journey of praying and seeking, we decided that God was calling us to start a new church. And so we started looking around, and we looked in Orlando, Florida, and we looked in some other cities. And when we came to Columbus, we felt this was the place that God had for us. I've never lived in Columbus before. My wife had never lived here, but we just felt drawn. It was like magnetic for us to be here. And we began to look around different cities. And when we came into Northeast Columbus, we actually drove into the lifestyle community part of New Albany. And we went past what at the time was Urban Active Fitness, which is now LA Fitness. And we just felt like that was the place that God was calling us to start. We don't know where we're going to end up, but we felt that was where we were supposed to start. And so we packed up. We said goodbye to all of our friends. They took an offering to help us to start the church, and we came here to Columbus with just our daughter. And I took a job at the front desk at Urban Active. I was the opener. So I would get there every day at 4:30 in the morning. I would greet people as they came in, and that's how we started the church. We met friends one at a time, and then we had a team of people that came around us. We had some that relocated from other states, and everyone took jobs. We all worked in the community, and just one at a time just started inviting people and telling them about the vision of what God had for us. And we slowly raised money, and after about a year, we had about 100 people that were committed to help us to start and plant the church. And so we launched it January 23rd of 2011. I'll never forget it. 1, 2, 3. Now, since 2011 and since we started the church, our personal family has grown. We added Hudson, and then we added Miles to the family, and it's just been an amazing journey and a time of growing together. So that's our story, and we can't wait to hear yours.